it's me, Terri of the Yarnjoy podcast. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Well, since it's Wednesday, it's time for crafting with friends and a visit to my bookshelf. I'm actually beginning to crochet some again, and so maybe, I don't know, maybe next week I'll have another visit to my bookshelf, and then hopefully I will be able to be showing you more crochet. But I do have a little crochet to show you today. The Crafting with Friends project, I did a little bit on that. But let's go ahead and I will share what I did over the weekend first. We had Ladies Craft Day this past Saturday, and I was so excited that I was able to go. I didn't take any crocheting with me. I actually took some cross stitch with me, thinking maybe that would be easier on my my thumb. And so it was kind of hard because, okay, so I'm left-handed, so when I'm holding my cross stitch picture, okay, I hold it with this hand, between my thumb and my fingers, and then I use my left hand to work the needle. Well, and I didn't have it in a frame or anything, because the project I took is probably about half this size, like this, So it's not a very big picture. And so I was holding it between my thumb and fingers, and then I was using this hand, to do the stitches. Well, just the fact that I was pinching the fabric, I didn't think it was really tight, but I mean, I was holding it, and after a while, my thumb would start hurting, and so I would have to stop and rest it a while. And so I would just sit and visit with everybody, and then I would pick it up and do some more. So I didn't get a whole lot done on it. I've done a little bit more on it after I got in the days following the craft day, just here at home. So I will show you that maybe tomorrow. I think I'm going to be doing a video for tomorrow, trying to get back into my Thursday videos. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I took to work on. I took some diamond painting to work on too, because I knew I could do that, but I decided just to work on the cross stitch picture, and so that's what I did. I so enjoyed being able to get out and talk crafty things with the ladies, and so that I really enjoyed the day. And so that's what I did on Saturday. I had therapy on Monday with my thumb, and it's getting, it's getting there. Look at that, I can touch. Look at that. Now I have to bring my pinky kind of to my thumb to get there, so I can't just lay my hand flat and then get that all the way over. That's not quite getting there. But anyway, there's progress going on. There is progress. It still is, now the doctor told me that it would probably bother me for, 2-3 months probably, before I didn't have any pain in there. So anyway, it's getting there. I'm just impatient with it. But I am so happy that I have been crocheting. I've worked on the temperature blanket. I had gotten so far behind on that. I think before I broke my thumb, I was maybe 5 or 6 days behind. So I was at the end of July, and then I broke my thumb on August the 1st. And so I had a few days in July, plus the average for July that I didn't do, and then all of August, and now all of September, because today is October the 1st. So, yeah, I thought, well, I really need to try to catch up on the temperature blanket. So I'll just do a few days at a time and stop and rest, And so that's what I've been doing, and I was able to finish up July. And I started August, and I'm about midway through August, and I've got a bunch of tails I need to weave in. But yeah, that's one thing I can show you for tomorrow for my Thursday video. So yeah, that's some crocheting I have done. Yay! But I'll show that to you. I'll show tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Get back on the episodes. I think it'll be episode 422, I think. And then, of course, I can show the cross stitch that I did and any diamond painting that I did on today's Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, and I babysat grandbaby yesterday, and he came and spent the day with me. My daughter-in-law had an OB appointment, and so he just came and spent the day with me, and we had a good time. We did some diamond painting and played some Donkey Kong, which also I need my thumb, you know, to work the controller, and so I could do a little bit, and that's it, you know. But we enjoyed it. We hadn't done it in a long time, so we enjoyed doing that. And then we watched some videos and different things, so yeah, we enjoyed the day together. And let's see, so that's about all, I guess, that's been going on. And so let me go ahead and show you what I have done on the Wednesday, for the Wednesday Crafting with Friends project. If you remember, way back, I had 2 projects that I had asked you to vote on which one I would do first, and both of them were going to be for my upcoming grandbaby to be, you know, well, he's already my grandbaby, he just hasn't come out yet. But the one thing that I was working on, and this is what actually won the vote, is the Christmas stocking. It's the Friend, what's it called? Sampler Friend stocking from Snappy Tots. I made this for my other grandson, and I stitched his name there on the snowman scarf. And so I wanted to make it again, but now I'm making it for my new grandson will be here this, you know, this will be his first Christmas. And so I am that's what I voted, that's what you voted on, and that's what won the vote. So it was between this Christmas stocking and then also a blanket. I think I have it right here. Let me grab it. I mean, I have the pattern. Yeah. This was vote number 2, and this was going to be a baby blanket for him. And of course, I haven't, you know, well, I haven't finished the stocking, and so I hadn't started on this, but I'm hoping that, you know, I'll have it at least for Christmas for him. But anyway, it was this blanket right here. It's just a filet crochet blanket with mushrooms, and it's going to be in this cream color. That's what my daughter-in-law picked, and that's the color that she wanted me to do. And so this will be the project that I will make, and I've got the yarn down here in a bucket and the pattern printed out. Let me grab the yarn. It's just Premier Basic, Everyday Basic DK in cream. Yeah. So that will be coming when I finish this. So I'm so happy that I was able to get a little bit of work done on this. Not much, you know, I can just do a little at a time, and then I have to rest my thumb, you know. But I'm so happy that I'm now working on it again. So before breaking my thumb, I had gotten right up to the hair on the elf right there. And I think maybe one round past the hair, which would be his hat up there. And so, and then that was it. And hadn't done any of the facial features on him yet. So what I have done, I decided, like I said, I'm altering the colors because the first stocking I did was exactly these colors. And so I am altering the colors a little bit to make it different for my other grandbaby, you know. So then, well, of course their names will be different on it, but I wanted to change the colors a little bit. So this is what I've gotten done so far. Now with my the one I made from my first grandbaby, I made a red nose right there to make like Rudolph. Okay, besides that, I think I used all those colors. Okay, so this is what I decided to do for this one. I am using green, like the color, you know, for the shirt on the elf. So I'm doing that the same. But as you can see, this one, the elf's hat was red with a white stripe through there. I decided to give him a green hat instead of a red hat. And I also made his hair dark brown instead of blonde like I did this one. Okay. And then I believe on the first one I did not give the elf I didn't give him a red nose because I thought it looked too much like a clown, and I didn't want him to look like a clown. And so I'm doing that now also. So I've gotten his ears done, the elf ears and the nose. And I'm just using the same color yarn, see? So there's his nose. I haven't sewed it on yet. Because what you do is you get up so far and then you have to work the details. So that way, sewing it on the inside, you know, working on the inside to attach your pieces is not hard to do, you know, because, you know, it's still kind of short. You can get to that area. So I've got both of his ears. There's pointed ear. So I'll have to figure out where it's going to go, but it'll have one on one side, one on the other. And then that nose in the middle there. Yeah. And then you put the eyes. And I think the eyes, well, those, I think they're button eyes. I don't know, but I will just embroider the eyes probably. Anyway, so there's my progress. So, I mean, very little progress. All I did was finish up the hat. I decided not to put the stripe because you're supposed to go to like white for one row and then go back to the other color for the hat. Like this one. See, it was red and then white and then red. And I decided not to do that. I'm just going to give him a solid hat with no stripe. So after I get the facial features sewed on, then I have to go back and attach on this ridge right here. I have to make the collar, his collar with the pom-poms attached to it there, the bubbles. Yeah, I haven't done that. And I will do it like that with the red and the green. Okay. So that's what I've done there. I don't like the way this heel is kind of funky. I don't know what I did, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to poke this in because I did it and then I looked at it and I think it would look good. So I'm going to kind of poke it in. Well, if I can get it poked in. See, I'm going to poke it in and then like sew it together. And I think that the heel will look a whole lot better because right now, like this, it looks kind of funky. You know, I don't like that. It looks kind of weird. Anyway, so yay, I actually did some crochet to show you. I'm so excited. You're trying to get back into a routine again, you know. Okay, so that is what I can show you for crochet for today. Let's go ahead and visit the bookshelf. And then I will talk to you a little bit more about what's going to go on in tomorrow's video, okay? Okay, so visit to my bookshelf. I have, as always, I have 4 books to show you. And then I have, this time I have actually 2 patterns from Blast from the Past, plus something I ordered to go along with the pattern. And yeah, I'll talk about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and visit my bookshelf, the 4 more current-ish pattern books. Okay, this one is a Leisure Arts book, little digest size. It's called Baby Stacks, 6 Easy Toys to Crochet. And I've had this, let's see, I made a pattern out of here for one of my great nieces when she was being born, and she just turned 6. Yeah, she just turned 6, and so that's how long I've had this book. But I thought it was so cute. In fact, I thought about making it for my grandbaby, one of them. In fact, I think I thought about doing the animal one. But after I made the one for my great niece, it turned out really cute. I'll show you which one I made. I made the one, so you do the basic shape, the cone, and I don't know what that is, the base of it, yeah. And then I believe the base has the base has a plastic canvas circle that I had to purchase. I remember trimmed down to the size, and that was the base that helped it to sit flat. And then you make this thing that looked like a chocolate kiss, but you know, higher. And then so that's the cone part. And then they show you about the rings, and of course you do different sizes for the rings. But then you have the individual patterns to make them different things, like the animals. So they have this one, they have the jungle animals. And so what it is you're making the rings, but then you go to this section and then you make like the heads and the ears and the feet and all that you attach to each ring. Okay, that one, it's really cute. Oh yeah, here you can see the picture. So see, the monkey is a ring, and then you have to make the feet and the head, and I think there's probably a tail back there that you have to make. And then the same way with the elephant, see? Okay, so there's that one, the jungle one. And then this one, let's see. This one I thought was really super cute. It's bees. And when you put the rings on there, it looks like a beehive. See that? Isn't that cute? So I thought that was super cute. I haven't made it, but I thought it was cute. And then the next one, let's see. Oh, and these are donuts right here. So the rings are donuts. I thought that was really cute. With sprinkles and icing on them. Here's one that's flowers. Okay. Oh, this is the one I made from my great niece. So where she lives right on the coast area. We call it the coast, but you know, by the water. Yeah, down by the Gulf. Anyway, this one is an octopus. And then these rings are, see that? They're starfish. And so this is the one I made for her. And I thought it turned out so cute. It turns out big, really big. Anyway, I made it. And the only thing I didn't like about it, here's another picture of it. The only thing I didn't like about it is this cone right here. There's nothing inside the cone. And so, which, I mean, that's good, because that way, you know, if the baby fell on it or something, it wouldn't be something hard, right? But it made it kind of wonky as far as keeping its shape. And so if I made this again, if I made this sort of thing again, I would probably put one of those foam hair curler things, you know, that I put in the necks of some of my amigurumi to help stabilize it. I hadn't thought about that, but I might be able to do something like that maybe. But yeah, that's the thing, for the fact that it turns out really big, and also the fact that it's kind of on this flimsy-ish side. Here's a rainbow. So yeah, that's all the different variations. I think that's it. Yeah. So anyway, so there's book number 1. Is a baby toy book. Okay. Book number 2, of course, I had to stick an amigurumi book in here. This is Mini Amigurumi Animals, 26 Tiny Creatures to Crochet by Sarah Abondio. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, but it's these little books here. She's done several versions of it, so you may recognize this from Amazon. But I have this one, and I have a bird one, and that'll probably be next time's visit to my bookshelf. But anyway, I got this one because of the little mini animals. The only one I've made is, where is it? It's not even on the cover, but they have a squirrel. Ow. Oh, my thumb, sorry. This one right here. Yeah. That's the one I made, because I think I made it for my mother-in-law just as a little small gift, because at the time she had a squirrel that she was raising. And so, you know, to remember that squirrel, I made her that squirrel. Anyway, but these other ones are really cute, and they're good, a nice size. I got them because I thought, oh, it'd be good, make good backpack buddies. But like I said, I just haven't made any more of them. That's a very enlarged picture. But yeah, they are about, you know, about so big. I don't know. As far as I can remember, like I said, I just made the one. There's the squirrel right here. You can see it better. Anyway, very cute. The body pattern is one of those where the body pattern basically is about the same, and then you crochet the different features, except for like the hedgehog. It's like really different, but I believe that's how it is. Like, see, the first animal is a rabbit, and then I believe it'll say like, okay, go back and make the rabbit body, you know, like that. Yeah, that's like the pig here. It says that. Go back and make the rabbit body, and then go back. So you kind of have to flip back and forth as far as the pattern pieces. But there are all the little animals. So you got all of those right there. That's a mole. And then all of these over here on that side. Yeah. Anyway, they're cute, and the pattern wasn't hard. It's just that all the pieces are separate, you know, all the little legs and stuff, and you have to sew them on. You don't crochet them on. And so that, you know, I mean, like, look at the moose there. It would have, it's really cute, but it would have quite a few pieces to sew on, you know, if you don't mind doing that. So anyway, there is my book number 2 for today for Visit to My Bookshelf. Okay, the next one is a Granny Square book. And I got this, if you remember, if you've been following me from like way back in the beginning, comment down below if you remember me making these videos. But way back when I early started making YouTube videos, I followed the tutorials that were, it was called 365 Days of Granny Squares, and it was a bunch of a Granny Square tutorial for every day during that whole entire year. And I did all of them. And so, yeah, that was from Yarn Utopia. I believe that was the channel name. And so after I did all those 365 Granny Squares, and what I did is I would do like a set of so many of them, and then they were all in that set, similar colors. I would pick out colors I thought went together, and then I would stitch them all together, and then it'd make like a lap blanket, and then I'd donate them, you know. And so I did that, working my way through those 365 days of Granny Squares, and I did it during one whole year. And yeah, remember that? Whoa, I actually did it, but yeah. Okay, so after I did that big project, I found this book, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do and it'd be a good thing to make a video for, and I'd do a Granny Square out of all of these from this book, and that's when I bought the book. It's 99 Granny Squares, and it's another leisure arts book, but all the Granny Squares are not the same size. Yeah. And so when I was looking through here, in fact, I even did a little bit of work as far as prep work, I guess. I got all fancy. Well, not really fancy, but I put stickers, you know, depending on what size Granny Square it made. And so, like, I have stickers for a 4 3/4 inch square Granny Square. That's really small. A 6-inch Granny Square, 6 1/4, 7-inch, 7 1/2. I mean, they're all like different sizes. 5-inch Granny Squares, you know. And so I like color coded them, and then I go through the whole entire book, and I put like I put the dots. See, there's a yellow one. There's a dot. There's a dot. Depending on what size Granny Square it would make, so that way I could like put all the 7-inch ones together and make those, you know, stuff like that. I guess that was my idea of doing it, but I've never made any of the squares out of here. I don't remember, but they don't have charts. They just have the written pattern, and the pictures are like on the edges here, you know, of each. I like that one. On each edge, you know, they just have the Granny Squares, you know, kind of small pictures, not real big, but not real small pictures. They're okay. I do like that they use different colors, you know, where it's not all the same color of square, the whole entire thing. I think sometimes I had a stitch dictionary one time, and each stitch, I don't think it was in black and white, but it was like just a neutral color. They use the same color yarn for every stitch in there, and I guess there's a benefit for that, I suppose, but I didn't like it. I like it, you know, I like some color. So anyway, this might be an upcoming thing I do. I like that one too. That one probably makes a big one. No, it doesn't. 5 1/4 it says, supposedly. Of course, I mean, that all depends on your gauge, you know, your tension, you know, you know, the size yarn you use, your hook, you know, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, 99 Granny Squares. Okay, no charts. It just has a written pattern. Okay, so that is book number 3. Book number 4, I actually just got it today. So I've been ordering these books. I mentioned this before, but I've been ordering these books from thrift books, and it is I guess they're used books, but they're gently used books. And they are the Magic, not school, I want to say Magic School Bus. Remember that? But it's not. It's called Magic Treehouse. And it's little chapter books that my son is reading to my grandson at night. You know, like they read one chapter. And so there's like a whole set of the books, like 36 books. And so I've been finding the books on Thrift Books and order, because they had so many of them, and my daughter-in-law told me like what number of books that they had, which ones, and so I've been like filling in the gaps, finding the missing ones in the set. And so and then every so often you earn free books, and so I'll pick out a couple more books because they were free, you know, for free, and to add to his set. Well, I ordered this crochet book for me while I was ordering a couple of more books for him. It's this one right here, Easy Weekend Afghans, and this is a House of White Birches book. It's a hardback book, hardcover book, and I just got it today. And there's some nice Afghans in here. Some of them, or a lot of them, since they're supposed to be weekend, like easy weekend Afghans. A lot of them are made like holding 2 and 3 strands together of yarn, and I'm not a big fan of doing that, but I like the stitches. They're not all that way, and there's baby blankets, and there's regular size, you know, Afghans. There's a section that's called Lapgans, I think. There's even a section of scrap, see, granny scrap Afghans, you know, made with scrap yarn. And so anyway, it's got some nice patterns in it. There's the one that's on the cover. It's like is that called a lark's foot pattern, I guess. There's a section that's supposed to be like for men, you know, and then there's a section that is like lapgans, and then there's, you know, different kind of seasonal, like not holiday, but like summer and fall and autumn, you know. Well, there's a few that says Christmas, like this one says Cozy Christmas. But like I said, a lot of these are, oh, look at this one. So this one is called 6 Hour Granny, and you must have to, yeah, you hold, they're granny squares, but they're made holding like 2 strands of yarn together. That way, you know, it works up faster. But like I said, they're not all that way, you know. They're not all where you hold 2 strands together. This one's called Ripple Rhapsody. And this one, no, you wash to wet yarn, but you do not hold 2 strands together. You're single, which I prefer that. Some of these is like you hold 3 strands together, and then you're supposed to use like a Q hook, you know, and I don't even have a Q hook, I don't think. So anyway, they're nice ideas, and some of them, you know, I don't even know how old this book is. Lullaby Crib Blanket. Yeah. I don't know how old this book is. Let me look. Let's see. Copyright 1999. So some of them, maybe the colors make it look dated. I don't know. Here's Jewel Tones. That's pretty. That one you hold 2 strands together. Yeah. Anyway, some of these, you know, they're basic stitches that in order for them not to look dated, if you think they look dated, just color, you know, change the color scheme to a more modern color scheme, I guess. So there's the front. Oh, there's the back. I like this one right there. Yeah. So there is a new Afghan book to put on my shelf. Okay, so now it's time for Blast from the Past. The first one is a thread crochet book. This is the one I was going to show you first. Flower Garden Fridgies. So they're refrigerator magnets, but they are made with the crochet thread, like use doilies, you know, like the number 10. And I know I made the hummingbird right there. I think that's why I got the book, just because of the hummingbird. This book came from Ben Franklin's. So yeah, that's, if you remember Ben Franklin's. I remember when I was a kid that it was a Ben Franklin's, but it was like a department store. And I loved going there when I was a kid because they had a popcorn machine right by the register. They had a popcorn machine, and then they had like a slushy type machine. And you could get like a bag of popcorn. It was the kind that I used to see them at Dairy Queen, where the slushy part would come out and there was no flavoring in it. It was just like the ice and the liquid, I guess. And then they have pump bottles of the flavors across the top on this little rack. And so whatever flavor you wanted, then they would pump. I think that's what they did. Either that or they pumped the flavor into the cup, and then they filled it, you know, pulled the lever or whatever, and then the icy part went down. But I don't remember them stirring it. I don't remember, but I do remember it was a treat because you could get that for like 50 cents or something maybe. And then you could get a bag, I want to say a bag of popcorn was like $1, but that seems awful cheap. I mean, I'm not that old, I don't think. Maybe it was 50 cents for the popcorn or $1. I don't know. But anyway, that was a treat for us to get a slushie and a little bag of popcorn. That's what I remember about Ben Franklin's. Okay, that was a big tangent of reminiscence. But this I got when it was Ben Franklin Crafts. Okay, and it was in the 90s, so this was probably copyrighted 1994. Yeah. Oh wow, my son was 4. My oldest son. Okay, so yeah, refrigerator magnets made with thread. So I did make this one, and then you would glue like a magnet on the back of it. I thought this one was cute, the basket with the little flowers. I don't think I ever made it. In the little frog, that one you had to actually stuff. I think I maybe made him, but I definitely remember making the hummingbird. So there's a few more on the back, some butterflies, a ladybug. Yeah. So, blast from the past. This one looks like a morning, that flower looks like a morning glory flower. Might be. Okay, so blast from the past, refrigerator magnets. Okay, the next blast from the past is a book I actually got, a pattern I actually got on eBay. So I never had this book when I was making these. It's some of those crochet, not the doll, you don't crochet, but you get the doll, the plastic doll from Fiber Crafts. Then you crochet a fancy dress on it. And it would be like pillow dolls, or it would be these little dolls that were not pillow dolls, but cute to look at. Anyway, and I recently, I think I had mentioned that I wanted to find another one of those particular dolls and then use, because I have 2 of these dolls, 2 patterns, and I thought I want to make one of those again. Well, then I was looking through, and then I found this one. It was the same part of that series of those same dolls, but it just a different character, different dress. And I was like, oh, I want to make that one. So I found the pattern on eBay, and I bought it, and it's for Amy. Isn't Amy pretty? I love the little pinafore and all the ruffles and things at the bottom and the slip under there, and then it's got the little roses. I think that is so pretty. And so I thought, okay, I want to get this, and I want to find a doll. It uses the 11.5-inch porcelain look doll, and it is from Fibercraft, where the pattern came from. And so I thought, okay, I'll go on eBay. I'll try to find the doll that goes with this that I can make. Well, I found it. It was a picture of the doll in the package still. I found it on eBay. I was like, oh, yay. And so I ordered it. It was the blonde doll, just like this. So I ordered it. This came from a different seller. So now I have the pattern, okay. And then I ordered the doll. And the doll came in the package. Never been opened, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, I start opening the package to look at the doll, and I was like, what is this funny feeling stuff on this doll? So I pulled the doll out of the package, and her hair started coming off, just like disintegrating in your hands. You know, you just felt it barely pulled, and it just would come off in your hand, big hunks of it. And I was like, oh no, oh no. And so I actually had a Barbie doll do that one time. can you see her? I'm going off on all kinds of tangents. I'm sorry. Big talking today. That bride doll up there, yeah, it's on a doll. The doll dress is sewed into onto the Barbie doll. Can't take it off. And her hair started falling out. And so all I did was take her head off, take a Barbie head, and pop another head on it. That's what I did. Well, this one, like I said, the plastic doll looks wonderful, but the hair was just coming all to pieces apart. So I went ahead and pulled all her hair off. And there's a sad little doll. So what I want to do, she has kind of see-through undies. I mean, she's not anatomically correct, but that looks kind of funny. So I'll put my hand right there. Okay, so yeah. And she's got little socks. She's got her shoes. The plastic is perfect. It's not sticky or nothing. So that's fine. So I was like, oh no, but she has no hair now. But I was like, but you know, Terri, you made all those Feel Better Friend dolls. And so I'm thinking that I could make her a wig cap and just, you know, with the diameter of her head and crochet her a wig cap. I mean, the Cabbage Patch dolls were plastic and they had yarn hair. So I'm going to try that first. I'll try it, see what it looks like. If it looks totally awful, I did see on Amazon where I could buy some doll wigs, and it's according to the circumference of the head. So I could maybe do that. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do, because I didn't want to have to send it back and I mean, she wasn't that much. And I didn't want to send it back because I really wanted the doll, you know. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So I'll take you along when I do that. Okay, I'm going to go because oh my goodness, it's a long video. I just enjoying visiting with you today. Okay, so tomorrow, I plan on making a video tomorrow, first one in a long time, and I will show you my progress on the crocheting that I have done, which is the temperature blanket, and then maybe I will just kind of refresh, and it'll be like a reminder of the whips that I was working on before all this happened, yeah. And yeah, and then we'll have another visit about that. And then Free Pattern Friday will be this Friday. And then hopefully maybe I can get back to finish it Friday. You know, I'm hoping. So, okay, I'm going to go because I need to edit this. I hope that you got a lot of work done on your project, whatever you're working on while I was visiting with you. So I'm going to go. Everybody have a great Wednesday and come back tomorrow. We'll have another visit. Hopefully not so long. And so we'll have another visit, yeah, in the next video. Bye.